Hey, what's up guys, darkbreaker here, and let's talk about the first look at wildrift patch 3.2b. It's gonna be about champions like Draven, Master Yi, Wukong, Aurelia actually getting changed as well. So let's get started. Let's get started with the champion buffs. They decided to buff Draven, increasing his attack speed by 10% in total, and also increasing the gold you're getting from the passive by 30. So overall, makes his early game much better. I don't think it makes him broken because he's hard to play. But it definitely makes him better in the early game, especially in the right hands. You can be even better. The second ability, they reduced the cooldown by 2 seconds, but it doesn't really matter because the cooldown resets whenever you catch the axe. So it kind of only benefits Draven players that are not able to catch the axes, but otherwise, obviously, 10% attack speed buff and 30 gold. So that's pretty solid, but I wouldn't say, wow, he is now S plus tier or something. I would say he's I don't know, between S and A tier for now. Master Yi is getting buffed. They increased his Alpha Strike by 15 base damage at every rank. Honestly, it's nice to have that they are. I mean, I don't think Master Yi needs a buff because every time they change Master Yi, they're just over buffing him. But to be fair, this time, I think they reduced, like before, the last nerf was they reduced the total AD by 40%. So there was a huge damage nerf, and now they're increasing the base damage just a little bit. So it should make him slightly better, but I mean 15 is not that much. Morgana is getting a buff on her dark binding, so she can throw the binds much more often. Uh, okay, what's much more often? Minus 1 second. And then for the black shield, they're increasing the base value, but lowering the AP scaling. So I guess that makes support Morgana a little bit better, and AP Morgana mid game better, but late game worse, I guess. I mean, the full late game, this is definitely worse on the black shielding part, but like around mid game should be a little bit better. Just because the base stats are higher. But the more AP you have, the worse it becomes. In terms of in comparison to last patch. Tristana is getting a buff, and I was talking with Doom, and he said this is actually pretty big for a scaling champion like Tristana. Having the additional AD makes her much better scaling wise, and also for the third ability, you will do more damage. So overall, Tristana is still hard to pull off, but if she gets into the mid late game, she can become really, really strong, especially if you have a Lulu or your Yumi. Now this one is very interesting. Wukong is receiving a buff. They are increasing his attack damage by 6, which is actually pretty solid. It's gonna make his early game better for sure in the jungle as well as in the Baron lane. Golden Staff damage. The first ability is getting increased. AD ratio. Wait. Whoa, that's a lot of AD ratio. So instead of going for a bruiser build, you could go for like more damage orientated build. Um, I mean, you probably would still go. Honestly, you probably would go Trinity now instead of Black Cleaver. Maybe you could go something like. I mean, you can still go Black Cleaver, Sandra, and Death Dance, which is very strong, and you still get a lot of AD from those items. Interesting. That's a huge damage buff in the early game. I just saw, yeah, it's in the early game. In the early game, it's from 10 to 30, and then late game is just a 5%. But it makes this early game much better. Nimbus Strike damage, third ability base damage is getting increased by 10 in the early game and 25 in the late game. I think that's okay, nothing major. The ultimate recast time is getting lower to 3 seconds. This is amazing. So you can cast the second ultimate. Whoa! You can cast the second ultimate quicker, but they reduce the range of the cyclone. But at the same time, cyclone movements will gain 30% over time to gain 20% instantly. Oh, they make up for the range by buffing the speed increase immediately, so you can chase people down much more quicker. I guess you can call it a rebalancing, or I wonder how quickly the ultimate was. Like, let's say the ultimate lasts a few seconds, and then from 0 to 30%, now you have 20% meat. So it's easier for you to chase people down, and I guess you don't even need the range anymore if you can chase people much easier down. But if you're landing an ultimate into 5 people, the other ultimate, the old ultimate, used to be just hit everyone, and now it's a little bit harder to hit everyone, I guess. Saya, third ability is getting increased by 5, doesn't really matter. Champion nerfs. Evelyn. Evelyn base HP is getting nerfed in the early game by 80, which is a lot. They're also removing or reducing the movement speed by 10, and then increasing health per level by 10. So in the late game, she will have more HP than before, but in the early game, she will definitely be weaker right now. So at Scuttlefire or something, if it happens, or level 5, she is gonna be weaker than beforehand. On top of that, they are also lowering the charm taunt duration by 0.25. I mean, honestly, that's um in the end, I don't think it's a major nerf, but a slight nerf for early game. Aurelia third ability damage is getting nerfed by 20 at each rank, and then the ultimate slow duration is also lowered by 0.5. I mean, in the end, I don't think that's the issue about why Aurelia is broken. It's the itemization, it's the passive, and it's also the first ability. It's not the third ability. 20 damage on the third ability, who cares? Slow, okay, slow on the ultimate could matter a little bit, but not too much. That's not the issue about Aurelia, so I don't think the nerfs are gonna matter too much to her. Now, next one, Lulu. Lulu movement speed is getting reduced by 10%, and then on top of that, the ultimate is getting nerfed by 50 at each rank. So overall, slight nerf onto Lulu. Definitely, I think it's gonna be noticeable, but it's not gonna be major. It's just a slight nerf. Now Yumi, pop and block cooldown. I guess that's a shield, right? The shield that she can provide is getting increased in the early game by 2 seconds, and then in the late game it's almost the same. So they are trying to nerf the early game, but in the end it's the shield value and the heal value she provides. I mean, yeah, shield and heal value and the movement speed value she provides that makes her so powerful. And she can reattach without a cooldown, basically jump left and right, left and right. She can bait, like everyone is hitting her, and then she jumps onto someone and you can't hit her anymore, and then she just soaked up a lot of damage. So main issue is the third ability, and then also the ultimate, I guess. Okay, now for some adjustments. Okay, like this should be good. Adjustments, boots. All boost cost reduced by 100 gold, so you can buy the tier 1 boots quicker, and then the enchantment costs 600 now. I like this, so people should buy the tier 1 boots quicker, and especially ADC players. You guys know I had ADC players, 3 core items. They finished 3 core items, and they didn't buy any boots yet. So for you ADC players now, 400 gold only, you can buy boots, and you're quicker. Yeah, you can dodge abilities easier, you can rotate quicker, etc. Keystone Electrocute is getting buffed slightly by 5 at early in the early game and in the late game. And then for bone plating, it's a 5-second cooldown reduction plus damage reduction increased. I mean, in the end, it's nice to have, but I don't think it's gonna be a super relevant buff on those two keystone runes. Smite. The health regeneration got buffed when you are using Smite by 10. I think that's a nice change for the early game when some junglers are struggling to clear the jungle without the leash. So that's nice to have, but nothing major. Keystone Font of Life is getting nerfed. The cooldown is getting increased by 2 on melee champions and by 3 on range. This is actually a pretty decent nerf, because 2 seconds and 3 seconds is actually a lot. and then the HP of the blue and red buff are getting reduced by 100. So that's a nice change in the early game, because I felt like the buffs were really strong for some champions, especially if they don't have a leash. So that's a nice change overall. I think the changes are not major, slight buffs here and there. I guess the biggest change is Wukong. Doom said to me Tristana is a pretty big buff, so I'm not aware of how good Tristana is with this buff, but we will see. Morgana already pretty strong, so that's gonna make her a little bit better. Master Yi, I don't think that this is gonna be relevant. Draven's gonna be a little bit better, but overall, it's not like major change that we're seeing. I guess Wukong is the biggest change we're seeing, so let's see how Wukong is gonna be. I will make a video obviously for it, so stay tuned. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed it, so you guys don't miss out on future content. When this patch is coming out, I will obviously stream, and I will obviously try to record gameplays for the changes on those champions. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I see you next time. Bye bye. Oh yeah, bye bye. Uh, oh yeah, by the way, write down below your feedback about this patch. What changes you like, what changes you dislike, and what they should have done instead. But yeah, that's about it. And now, for real, bye bye.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.